Okay. All right, everybody, we're going to get started. Okay, first off, thank you very much for coming to the 2014-15 Houston Mock Kickoff. So just to give you a general sense of what we're going to do today, we're basically going to talk about the engineering design process and what we do for the most part in that first 3 to 4 to 5 days during build season. So once we get a game, which is we're going to go through all that, what happens at kickoff and things like that. But the more importantly, what you're actually going to have to do once you get a game and how you go from this is what we have to do to a robot design. That's kind of our goal. So you have some idea of those steps. First off, thank you for coming. A ton of this material and a ton of the material we're giving you and stuff was not prepared by our team by any means. FRC, one of the best things about it is a huge community of people who are working tirelessly to provide resources and material for teams. So there are countless numbers of teams in the binders that the rookie teams and younger teams got. There are absolute tons of information in there from I can't even count how many teams that have published documents and resources and things. Some of the people listed there, Karthik, JVN, Nemo, Minnesota, Go First, are some of the people we've got concepts for to even do this and mock kickoffs and engineering design process and things in general. But it's really good that they're able to keep spreading the word and we're passing on to you guys. So when you guys have the knowledge, please pass it on to other teams and other students on your team and all of that stuff. So feel free to copy, duplicate, whatever you want to do to any of this material. So just real fast, show of hands, who has never seen an FRC game before? I know most of the rookies this year actually got to go and play them and things. Anybody in here just never seen a game at all? Okay, there's a few. Okay, there's only a couple. It's actually better, it's better than last year. So just so people have some idea, because I'm going to reference the last 2 years at least quite a bit. We're going to watch the game animations from those last 2 years so people have some idea of what we had to do.
Welcome to the 2013 First Robotics Competition. This year's game.
That's not showing up on the screen. No.
Ultimate Ascent is played on a 27 by 54.
Yeah, there we go.
Alliances of 3 teams each operate.
All right. So briefly, so we're going to be talking about game analysis quite a bit today, and looking at how you analyze games. But just at a pretty basic level, what are similar things that are in those two games? So they're pretty different games, but what aspects of them are similar?
Both of them, the objective is to score goals.
That's true. Yeah, most of the time your objective is to score more points than your opponent.
The size of the field seems to stay the same.
The size of the field is pretty similar.
There's a high and low goal in each.
There's a high and low goal. They did different levels of goals. Yep. You have to be able to get something into what? Into the air? That's true. We did have 2 tossing games. Actually, 3 in a row. The one before that was a tossing game too.
Building a robot to assist other alliance members will increase your points.
Was that in 2013?
There was an autonomous and teleop.
Yeah, there's an autonomous and a teleop period in both of them. There's defense, yep. So you can play defense in both of the games. Anything else that's similar in the 2 games? Different bonus points? Yeah, your robot definitely has to be robust. That's something that will be in almost every FRC game. Other things that were similar?
Mostly flat field.
Mostly flat field. That's true. Also on carpet. Both of them were on carpet.
There was a pre-programmed time where the robots could do a function without
Mm.
actually being controlled.
Yeah. So that's autonomous mode, and there was an autonomous mode in both of them. Anything else? How many? What? 3 robots in each alliance, so 6 total robots on a field, 2 alliances, red versus blue. So we make a lot of assumptions based on that's how it's always going to be. We have no idea what's coming in a little less than a month. There could be like there's 7 alliances and there's a yellow one and we're doing crazy things in the air. They have no idea. Most likely won't happen. Very likely won't happen because they like some of the game mechanics. That's why a lot of the ones get reused. But the GDC, which is the game design committee, the people in New Hampshire and some people from around other places who get together and design these games every year can do whatever they want. For the most part, things will stay the same, but not everything. Yeah, Phil.
There's harder ways to score and there's easier ways to score. It's not always obvious which is which.
Right. So the game design committee, when they're designing games, takes that into account. They're trying to build in some amount of balance. They want young teams, they want veteran teams, they want a hard problem, but they want it solvable. They have a lot to weigh when they're designing games. Some of them come out better than others, and we see that when we're playing them. But you get some idea that there are a lot of pretty good similarities between each game. There's a way to target it? Yeah, that's true. They try to give you some way that the robot can actually target it. They want to have vision challenges and things like that often. And we'll see that in some of the other games we look at today as well. Okay, and you can also see the pretty major differences as well. The assist points, the different game objects, how you're going to be able to score. The robots are going to look completely different. And that happens pretty much every year. We're not building the same robot. It's not like football where you're playing the same game every year. We're playing something different every single season. All right, so now at your table, you should have a sheet of paper that has like team name on it and some other stuff like that. I don't know which one it is. One of them's on there. So basically, you get to spend 5-10 minutes designing whatever team you want. If you were in your team meeting and you were really pushing for the duct tape kittens to be your team name and didn't get it, today you get another chance to make that argument. So feel free, team name, whatever number you want to have your team as, if you 8, 74, whatever you want, I don't really care. You can do whatever you want. Everybody, anybody want to share their design? Everybody, shh, back up here. All right. Anybody really happy with their team name? Want to share? Drew a cool logo? Need a logo or just team name? Oh, if you want to show, if you want to bring your team name, come up, or you want to show the logo, come up here. Oh yeah, there we go. All right.
That's horrible.
No, it's getting there. It's getting a lot of focus. All right. Team name?
Illuminati.
The team name is the Illuminati. There we go. Got a logo.
Logo, yeah.
All right. All right. Good job. Anyone else? We're just doing it on the webcam. Oh, we're better. There we go. All right. All right. So for the most part, everybody. Oh, you guys come too? All right. We can do more.
Sorry.
No problem.
This just has to be shown on the board.
No problem at all. What do we got here? All right. We have the Fire Penguin Disco Pandas. Yeah. All right. All right. Very nice. All right. So hopefully everybody has a team name and logo. So hopefully you've done some of that on your own team too. You're getting to the point where you have team names and logos for rookie teams, veteran teams. Hopefully you guys have a team name and logo, I would think by now. Not, you could do it without it. Okay. All right. Listen up, everybody. Okay, so one of the things a lot of people, they get in, they go, oh, it's a robot competition. So we are going to talk a little bit about what FIRST is and what FRC is. But luckily, I don't have to do it, and I can let Morgan Freeman do it, which is way better. So.
This is the Super Bowl.
So most of today is going to be about the robot and building the robots and making them better. But the real point of why we do all of this is for all the students and all what you guys are going to be able to do and what you guys are going to take away from this program. That's really what we want to make sure we're talking about. Okay, so that's the main goal, is that we're hopefully inspiring you all the students, to go out and do things in STEM, to continue giving back, to mentor, to do whatever you can to help promote and make the world a better place. For those of you who don't know, so I actually started in FRC, what year is it? A long time ago, 14 seasons ago, in 2003 when I was a freshman in high school. So I've been doing this for quite a while. I was on team 647 out of Killeen, Texas. So basically where you are now, and 14 years later, you could be leading a mock kickoff, things like that. Okay, so what actually happens at kickoff? So on January 3rd of this year, we're all going to Katy Taylor High School this year. So that will be where kickoff is instead of Clear Lake like it normally is. We're moving it, but that should be good. It's actually closer for most of Houston. We're going to get there, we're going to mingle, you get to see everybody that you haven't seen in a long time. Rookie teams, you're going to see people you've never met before. And we're all going to go and sit in some auditorium thing. I don't actually know how it's going to work there. There'll be a screen and there'll be a webcast. And then the main goal, everybody wants to see the game, but they're going to make you listen to speakers for a while. And because it's a mock kickoff, we're going to make you do a little bit of the same. And also so you get to know some of these people and why they're important and what they do. So FRC was founded originally by Dean Kamen. Hopefully most of you will know this. If not, you'll come to know Dean at every kickoff and championship and every other time he can give a speech. Dean Kamen is a very prolific inventor. He runs DECA. He invented the Segway. He invented portable dialysis pumps. He's working on water purification right now and robotic arms for amputees and all sorts of really impressive things. But one of the things he's most proud of is starting first and inspiring students at a young age to start doing robotics and doing STEM. He actually founded it back in 1988. The actual FRC competition didn't kick off until 1992. But we'll let Dean talk about it a little bit.
Truth be told, this is about robots. No.
And so what Woody was talking about in there is one of the most important values of being on First, and one of the reasons why I stay in the program and keep doing and work with it every single day, is because we do have a mutual respect for everyone involved. We all have a much higher goal than beating somebody in a robotics competition. And we also know there'll be tons of events and there's tons of awards and everybody can be celebrated. There's no reason that any one team has to come out the winner or anything like that. It goes along with cooperation is the other word you'll hear a lot of times interchanged with grace professionalism. Basically, we're all cooperating. You won't see football teams doing this for other football teams. That's not how it works. But in First, it is. It's expected that you're helping everyone else. It's expected that you want everyone else to be doing their best at pretty much all times. There's never a time you want somebody else to tip over. There's never another time you want somebody else's robot to break. Nothing like that. If they need some part and you have it, you loan it to them. Okay, so what else do they talk about at Kickoff? So this is also, at Kickoff is also First's main event as a corporate entity and a nonprofit to get in front of all of their basically customers, us, right? We're paying them lots of money to be able to have this, and it's their time to be in front of us and talk to us. Also in front of their sponsors, and to give their sponsors time to talk to us too. And that's part of it, and that's money and all of that stuff. So you'll hear from the CEOs of a bunch of companies. We've had CEOs of like PTC and engineering companies and Coca-Cola and a bunch of other places like that. They'll discuss some of the new rules and changes that are going on in First as a whole. So overarching things like the way competition structures work and new programs outside of even FRC. They'll talk when like FTC was launched and things like that. They talk about them at the FRC kickoffs. They also talk about changes to the kit of parts, which we're going to talk about what you actually get in the kit and those types of things. But they're just there to kind of give you overviews of how things go down. Some of the things, sometimes they talk about a little bit of how they design some of the game, all sorts of things like that. For what used to be a good 45 minutes to an hour, they've shortened it dramatically. Now the whole thing is only about a half hour. It used to be about an hour and a half. And then the last end of it, the game is finally revealed. We get the game animation, and they actually give us a password to unencrypt the rules. So they'll release an encrypted version of the rules as a PDF file. And at the end of Kickoff, they give you a password so that if you're sitting there in your seat, you can pull up Wi-Fi or whatever on your phone, and you can type it in, and you can actually read the rules. Okay. And then after that, everybody picks up their kit of parts. So a big part of it is doing Kickoff kit distribution. So all your teams, you'll get totes with all the kit of parts in it, your control system, all that stuff. We'll talk about in just a second. So right now we're not going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about a little bit of the other things, namely the kit of parts and what actually comes in it. So the kit of parts has changed dramatically since I first started in First. It's absolutely 100 million times better in what you're actually able to do and what you're able to do out of it. My first year was basically like a couple pieces of metal and some motors, and they were like, I don't know, build a robot. It was pretty rough. Now you get, for the most part, if you're a rookie team, you're required to get the drivetrain that Andy Mark developed. So you get something that, for the most part, you can bolt together. There's instructions, and you can get something moving pretty quickly. And all the veteran teams know basically how to build it. We can help you, all of that stuff. It comes out pretty simply. Every team, especially this year, will be getting a brand new control system. So we're moving away from the C-Rio that you may have used in the past. We're moving to the new Robo-Rio. So we have new control system and new hardware. We'll talk a lot more about that after we do a bunch of the game stuff and what's all going to be in the new system. So every team's getting those things. But then the other part of the virtual or the kit of parts is things that aren't necessarily going to pick up in the tote on Kickoff Day. That actually is beforehand, a lot of it. So things like first choice, which hopefully most of you finished/did. That was basically happened all this week. Orders were due on Wednesday, and they found out what everybody got yesterday, hopefully. If you didn't do that, it opens for like regular ordering today at 11, I think. But hopefully everyone's finished that. Vouchers are another big one that come in the kit of parts. You'll get little stickers with like coupon codes. A bunch of vendors, instead of actually putting items in, will give you discounts or order one free of whatever of these things that you want, things like that. They're very useful to take advantage of. Most of the time they're entirely free. Sometimes you have to pay shipping and things like that. But there's just more parts that are part of the kit of parts, but they're just distributed in different ways. Belts and cylinders, there's a couple different companies donate things in a way that allows teams to design their robot first and then basically pick which thing they want donated. So Gates Belt Company allows you to do that. So it doesn't make sense to give everybody a single length of belt because your robots aren't all going to be the same. So if you wanted to use a belt on your robot, you would tell them what type and what size and all of that, and they would ship it to you. Pneumatic cylinders are the same way. They come in various ranges, sizes, diameters, all sorts of different things. You spec it, you tell them how many you want, there's a limit and things like that, and you're able to get those. Yeah.
Make sure that we understand. First choice is either or. It's not doing today and or
If you're